Straight ahead on WBKB, the world's largest meat processing company is up and running again after the latest cyber attack.
Plus, Alpena High School has announced their new principal. Find out who. And one brewing company is offering to buy America's next round.
You are watching Thunder Bay News Network. WBKB News at 6 starts now.
This is WBKB News at 6. An in-depth look at news, weather, and sports. From hard-hitting news stories to local events, we're there with coverage you can count on. You're watching WBKB News at 6.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us. I'm Tyler Cruz.
And I'm Sherry Stewart. For the second time in weeks, a cyber attack has disrupted critical U.S. production.
Yeah, and this time, Sherry, it was the world's largest meat processing company. Michael George has the latest.
Meat processor JBS says the vast majority of its plants will operate today after a cyber attack forced shutdowns in North America and Australia. 13 plants in the U.S. are affected. The FBI is investigating, and the White House is watching closely. JBS believes the attack likely came from criminals in Russia.
This is a national security issue. We have to approach it on that level.
Former Defense Secretary and CIA Director Leon Panetta has no doubts Russia is connected.
I don't think there's any question. My own knowledge of the Russian intelligence agencies, they basically operate in every sector within their own countries. The Russians know what the hell's going on.
Meat prices have already been rising during the pandemic. Now there's concern this cyber attack could disrupt supplies and push prices even higher.
I think it's going to have an effect on both ends of the supply chain. So if you think about it, JBS and its meat processing facilities will supply to grocery stores. They may supply to other folks who manufacture fine products, go to restaurants, all sorts of people.
JBS has dozens of brands in the U.S., including Clear River Farms, 1855, and Pilgrims. It has not been revealed whether the company paid a ransom to get its computer systems back online. Michael George, CBS News, New York.
Governor Whitmer was in Flint today to host Michigan's first ever expungement fair.
Yeah, Sherry, and more than 1,000 people registered to get help to clear their criminal records. It was the first expungement fair since Whitmer signed the bipartisan clean slate bills into law in 2020. The new expungement laws, which took place on April 11th of this year, allows for all convictions that are no longer crimes to be wiped from criminal records.
We know that this is an opportunity to give people a chance to make a good living, to get back into the workforce, to take care of their families, a second chance at a real good life here in Michigan.
Whitmer adds that criminal justice reform has been a priority for her administration since day one. Under the Clean Slate program, thousands in Northeast Michigan could be eligible to expunge their criminal records. Now here's meteorologist Ellie Morrison with a first check of the weather. Ellie, I'm enjoying the 70s until it really heats up.
And Tyler, it is really going to heat up as we go later on into the week. Currently, we are seeing mostly cloudy skies over Alpena at 77 degrees. Cooler in Rogers City, where the winds are coming off of Lake Huron, 59 degrees in that area. Temperatures got into the 70s earlier today. A little bit more clearing in Oscoda, more sunshine in that area, sitting at 71 degrees. Temperatures this evening will be heading from the middle 60s rather, down into the upper 50s as we go after midnight, and then during the early morning we will start off tomorrow with lows around 52 degrees. Morning temperatures will quickly rise into the 60s. By midday we're in the 70s, and our highs tomorrow will get up to almost 80 degrees. We'll cross that mark heading into the 80s on Friday. Warmer beyond that. I'll let you know when some summer-like heat will be moving in, but also when we could potentially see a couple of raindrops coming up later in the program.
Thank you, Ellie. We'll see you in a bit. It's warming up out there.
Oh, yeah.
Alpena County receives a grant to upgrade and repair housing. The Michigan State Housing Development Authority awarded Alpena County over $37,000 as part of their Neighborhood Enhancement Program grants. The money will fund projects tied to improving and stabilizing communities. These projects will focus on housing repairs and upgrades, as well as enhancing public amenities in neighborhoods. Alpena's business community is hoping to turn a popular downtown alley into mixed-use space. The alleyway project calls for the alley that extends from 2nd Avenue to 3rd Avenue between Chisholm and River Street to close to vehicle traffic. Dustin Black presented the plan to the Alpena DDA Tuesday. He says similar projects in other cities have been successful.
The restaurants have done really well, the retail has done really well, and also the service-oriented businesses have done really well. So I think it's a very exciting opportunity, and I think once the general public starts to realize that and see that in action, they'll totally get on board. I think it's going to be a fun space.
The DDA approved the proposal, which now heads to City Council for review. If Council approves, Black says the space would close to motorized vehicles through at least Labor Day and be used for pedestrian traffic, sidewalk sales, and other outdoor activities.
Downtown's going to look completely different in a few months. Alpena High School will have a new principal for next school year. Principal Thomas Berriman, who had worked in the high school for the past 4 years, will be moving to Ella White Elementary School, and AHS Assistant Principal Romeo Bordage will take his place. Bordage has worked with the school district for 30 years, and Superintendent David Rabideau says he is confident Bordage is the right man for the job.
I'm pretty sure there's very few people who don't know who he is and don't have positive things to say about him. But for the school district, he's also got a great vision of, uniting the high school team and getting them going and recovering from COVID.
Bordage served as the E-House principal for over 10 years. Rabideau says 3 administrators retired this year, starting the process of Berriman moving and Bordage stepping up. He also says both he and Bordage are excited for the next school year. Anheuser-Busch, the company that makes Budweiser, could be buying your next round on the 4th of July. The brewing company said in a statement that it would be buying America's next round of beer, seltzer, or non-alcoholic beverages only if 70% of adults have received at least one COVID vaccine by July 4th. So far, about 63% of adults in the United States are at least partially vaccinated. The company says they pride themselves on stepping up both in times of need and in times of celebration. Well, that sounds good.
Yes.
More news ahead for you here on WBKB. It's Next Level Wednesday, and one entrepreneur shares her journey from privilege to passion. And meteorologist Ellie Morrison has your 7-day forecast next.
Several years to create by hand. From concept to completion, she says, they worked hard at finding the rocks along the side of the back roads and making this possible. This is a 12-foot by 12-foot with river rocks and red bricks. There's no real beginning or end, and she's painting the bricks and framing the rocks. Thank you for sharing this photo with us. If you have a photo such as nature shots, pics with friends, or interesting sights you see that you'd like to send us, email it along with a short description to news@wbkb11.com.
I don't think I've ever seen something like that before.
Took a lot of work to do that.
Certainly all the
Very nice.
effort paid off. It looks awesome. Coming up on WBKB News, it's Next Level Wednesday, and Matt Dazinski will have the latest in sports. Stay tuned.
On today's Next Level Wednesday, WBKB's Stephanie Manici speaks with one entrepreneur who emphasizes following your passion even if you have a competitive advantage. Here's more.
Today I'm speaking with Shawnee Moran. She classifies herself as an innovator. She's been in her industry for over 2 decades. She came up with an amazing product, allowing people to transform their space effortlessly. Take a look. Shawnee, thank you for joining me today. I'll go ahead and let you tell us about your company.
Pillow Pops are decorative pillows that were designed especially for the consumer to be able to exchange and swap and redress their home to create a certain mood or an atmosphere very, very easily.
Who was Shawnee before Pillow?
Thanks for that, Stephanie. Well, today marks the 20th episode of Next Level Wednesday. If you have any areas of interest you'd like explored, email us at news@wbkb11.com. Sports is coming up next, but first, Matt Dazinski is in with a preview. Matt, what's going on tonight?
Thanks, Tyler. Coming up next in sports, John Beeline has landed his next gig, and it is back in the state of Michigan. More on where he is headed coming up. Plus, we will have the recap from the Tigers' big night in Milwaukee, where they scored 4 home runs to split the series with the Brewers. We'll have this and much more next in sports.
Welcome back. A new film about the life of Muhammad Ali is on the way, and actor Kevin Spacey is hoping to make a comeback. Nichelle Medina has your eye on entertainment.
Actor Kevin Spacey is in Italy shooting a low-budget film in what could be his return to the big screen. The Oscar winner has kept a low profile since being accused of sexual misconduct by more than 20 men in 2017. Spacey denies all accusations of misconduct. A new documentary tells the story of boxer and civil rights activist Muhammad Ali 5 years after his death. The city of Ali goes back to his hometown of Louisville, Kentucky, and features interviews with friends and family as they struggle to say goodbye to the man who many consider the greatest athlete of all time. The City of Ali premieres this Friday.
You have a python on your neck.
It's a constrictor.
A special guest slithers onto the Not So Late Show during tonight's episode of Kids Say the Darndest Things. Host Tiffany Haddish isn't so sure about 10-year-old Braylon and his reptile friend.
Do you think Milky's trying to eat me?
Yeah. See what happens tonight on Kids Say the Darndest Things on CBS. That's your eye on entertainment. Nichelle Medina, CBS News, Los Angeles.
You like snakes?
No.
Thank you for watching WBKB News at 6.
Visit WBKB11.com for sports, weather, and news updates anytime, day or night.
And check us out on our Facebook page and Twitter handle at WBKB11.
Join us tonight for WBKB News at 11 with Stephanie Manici. Have a great evening.